Hi students, good morning. I am Shuganti from Vidhyalakshmi Higher Secondary School. In this video, we discussed 12th standard computer application reduced syllabus. Okay, computer application reduced syllabus for 2021 and then 22. Okay, now we start. Okay, open your book and then mark these are all the portions. This is all the topic only enough for. Okay, enough for me. So, just you open your book and then mark these are all the portions. Okay. First lesson 1 multimedia and desktop publishing. Open lesson 1 multimedia and then desktop publishing. In this lesson we have 1.1 introduction to multimedia, 1.4 file format in multimedia, 1.5 multimedia production, 1.8 libraries, information centers and then archives. Okay, libraries, information centers and then archives. Okay. So, in our lesson 1 multimedia and desktop publishing, lesson 1 introduction to multimedia, lesson 4 different types of file format in multimedia, it is a important 5 mark question. Okay. Again multimedia production team also 3 mark and also 5 mark questions are very important, and final one 1.8, 1.1, 1.4, 1.5 and 1.8. So, it is a very interesting lesson, at the same time it is a easy lesson also. Next one lesson 2. Okay. Lesson 2 2.2 introduction to Adobe Pagemaker, 2.7 text block, 2.8 understanding story, 2.9 threading text blocks, 2.10 placing text in a frame, 2.16 magnifying and reducing with the zoom tool. Okay. 2.117 formatting a document, 2.18 drawing, 2.19 working with the pages, 2.20 master page, 2.21 printed document. Okay. 2.2, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, 2.10, 2.16, 2.17, 2.18, 2.19, 2.20 and 21. Okay. These are all the topics only we have in a second lesson. Okay. Next lesson, third lesson. Okay. In our third lesson, data introduction to database management system. Third lesson, introduction to database management system. In this lesson, 3.1 introduction to database management, 3.3 RDBMS relational database management system, 3.4 RDBMS jargons, 3.5 entity relationship model ER model, 3.6 ER diagram entity relationship diagram and 3.7 okay, introduction to MySQL, 3.1 introduction to database management system DBMS, 3.3 RDBMS relational database management system, 3.4 RDBMS jargons, 3.5 ER model, 3.6 entity relationship diagram, 3.7 introduction to MySQL. Okay. So, these are all the topics very important in our third lesson. Okay. Another fourth lesson, introduction to Hypertext Preprocessor. Fourth lesson, Hypertext to Preprocessor. 4.1 is an important introduction to PHP, 4.3 client server architecture, 4.6 web development commands. Okay. Web developments concepts or commands. Okay. Fourth lesson, introduction to Hypertext Preprocessor, 4.1 introduction to PHP, 4.3 client server architecture, 4.6 web development concept. Okay. So, next one So, 5th lesson is the important at the same time interesting lesson, PHP functions and then arrays. PHP functions and then arrays. 5.1 parameterized function, 5.2 arrays in a function in a PHP programming. Okay, 5.1 PHP functions and then arrays is the lesson. In this lesson, 5.1 parameterized function, 5.2 arrays in a PHP. Okay. Next lesson, 6th one, in this lesson PHP conditional statement. Okay. In this lesson, very important at the same time interesting lesson also. So, PHP conditional statement, if-else statement in a PHP, if-else statement in a PHP, if-else statement in a PHP, switch case statement in a PHP. Conditional statement, if-else statement in a PHP using programming, write a program and then explain the if-else statement, write the syntax of if-else statement, switch case statement. Okay. If-else switch statement, if-else statement, if-else statement, switch statement. So, these are all the 3 different topics are very important topic in our 6th lesson. So, very important. So, program based question, explain nested if statement or explain if else statement, it is a very important. Another one lesson is the 7th lesson, looping structure. 7th lesson, looping structure. In this lesson, looping structure introduction and then for each loop. In a 7th lesson, looping structure introduction and then for each loop. Okay. So, looping structure, different types of loops we have. Okay. Looping structure introduction and then for each loop. Next, lesson 8, forms and then files. Lesson 8, forms and then files. In 8.1, HTML forms is the important one. 8.1 HTML forms that contains some components or that. So, these are all things covered in a 8.1. In a 9th lesson, connecting PHP and MySQL. 9th lesson, connecting PHP and MySQL. Okay. 9.1, MySQL functions in a PHP. MySQL function in a PHP. 8th lesson 8.1, 9th lesson 9.1. Okay. In a 10th lesson, introduction to computer network. 10th lesson, introduction to computer networks. Okay. 10.1 introduction, 10.3 users of computer network. 10.1 introduction, 10.3 users of computer networks. So, only 2 topics. Okay. In 11th lesson, 11.1 introduction. In 11th lesson, 11.1 introduction. Okay. In a 12th lesson, DNS, domain name system. In a 12th lesson, DNS concept, domain name system. Okay. 12.1 information, 12.2 overview of DNS, 12.4 uniform resource locator URL, 12.5 DNS concept. In a 12th lesson, 12.1, 12.2, 12.4 and then 12.5. Okay. Next one is a 13th lesson. In our 13th lesson, network cabling. 13th lesson, network cabling. On this 13th lesson, we have introduction, second one 13.2 types of network cabling. 13.1 introductions to network cabling, 13.2 types of network cabling. Okay. In our 14th lesson, open source concept. In our 14th lesson, open source concept, 14.1 introduction. 14.1 introduction. Okay. Next lesson, 15th lesson, e-commerce. 15th lesson, E-commerce. 15.1 Introduction to e-commerce. 15.2 The evolution of electronic commerce or e-commerce. 15.3 The development and growth of the e-commerce. 15.5 E-commerce revenue models. 15.1, 15.2, 15.3, 15.5. 15.1 Introduction to e-commerce. 15.2 Evolution of electronic commerce. 15.3 Development growth of e-commerce. 15.5 E-commerce revenue models. E-commerce revenue models is the important 5-mark question. Next one, 16th lesson electronic payment system. 16th lesson electronic payment system. 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, 16.4. 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, 16.4. 16.1 Introduction to e-payment system. 16.1 Introduction to e-payment system. 16.2 Classifications of e-payment methods. 16.3 Card based payment system. 16.4 Electronic account transfer. 16.1, 16.2, 16.3 and 16.4. Next lesson, 17th one. In this lesson, e-commerce security system. 17th lesson, e-commerce security system. In this lesson, 17.3, 17.4. 17.3 Dimensions of e-commerce security. 17.3 Dimension of e-commerce security. 17.4 Security technologies in e-commerce transactions. Security technologies in e-commerce transactions. 17.3 and 17.4. So, it is important in 17th lesson. And next one is the 18th lesson. In this lesson, 18.3 Advantages of EDI, electronic data interchange. Okay. Advantages of EDI, EDI layers, EDI components, EDI standards, UN and then edifact. Okay. UN and then edifact. 18.3, 18.4, 18.5, 18.6 and 18.7. 18.3 advantage, 18.4 EDI layers, 18.5 EDI components, 18.6 EDI standards, 18.7 UN and edifact. Okay. Another one of the topic is the practical session. So, next one is the practical session. In this practical section, we have only a limited programming. Okay. Question number 2, creating a Pagemaker notice board. Pagemaker creating a notice board. Okay. Exercise 4. Okay. Computer application 2, Pagemaker creating a notice. Computer application creating a notice board, 4th one. Computer application 6th one, PHP basic programming. 6th one, basic PHP basic programming. 5th one, MySQL using of commands in a database. MySQL using commands in a database. Again another one, 6th one, PHP basic programming. 6th one, PHP basic programming. 7th one, PHP creating and execute variables. PHP creating and execute variables. 9th one, string functions. 9th one, string function. Number 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9. That's all. Only 6 programming questions only we have. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then 9. Okay, good. So, this is the important for in our practical examination. So, in this video we covered 12th standard computer application reduced syllabus, okay, theory portion and also practical portions also we covered. In this, I think so, all are note down these are all the points, mark it in a book and then you make it to study, score good mark. Thank you.